What is the Imperial News Network?
INN serves the Star Citizen community with up-to-the-minute news.
We bring the developers and events closer to the community.
And we love Star Citizen, whether we're flying with our team or with our supporters.
Imperial News Network works hard every week to bring the verse to you.
We are the community's #1 source for all things Star Citizen.
And we're glad to have you along for the ride.
Hello? I think we're live, maybe? Hold on, they're muted still. There we go.
Are we unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. Am I good to do the intro?
Hold on. Let's make sure
Okay.
everyone can hear us, because the audio is weird this week.
Good
Hello,
idea.
can you hear us? Are we good? Can you hear me and David?
Hello.
Hello? Yes.
Hello?
Awaiting responses. Oh, they're excited I'm also back. Thanks, Zeus. I appreciate it. Yes. Okay. Oh, Richard and Eric, thank you for the hosts. Go, David.
Richard sent me a message and I can't reply back because my
Oh.
whisper functionality seems to be broken. So I'm sorry, Richard. I will talk to you soon. It's intro time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who's-its and what's-its of all ages, to an extravaganza the likes of which you've never before seen, heard, smelt, dealt, comprehended, or considered, or nay, even imagined. I am David, or Erris, the ridiculous, the well-kept, the one with the bow tie. I'm joined today by Mr. Shiver Bathory, INN's Chief Investigative Sergeant-at-Arms. I'm also joined by Mr. Jake Acapella, who went missing months ago because I kicked him out of a jalopy as we were driving through Albuquerque, and it's taken him this long to hitchhike back.
I moved away from there. Why did you leave me there? I wanted to leave that place.
I don't care. We are also extremely jubilant to be joined today by the magnanimous man behind the machine, behind the man's machines, the master of ships, the one and only pun commander. It's Mr. Ben Lesnick.
Hello, everybody. That was an amazing intro, by the way.
Thank you.
If nothing else, you have this alliteration thing down.
It's a finely honed craft that he has been working on for 2 years now.
Too long. Too long. I may not be
totally
able
doesn't get drunk the night before and write down some words and see what happens.
I'm not smart enough to do this the night before. I do this 20 minutes before.
I do want to point out that, yes, the introduction to Inside the Verse is scripted. It's not procedurally generated.
Well, you can
It's
have
not-
scripted events in a procedurally generated intro.
We should.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Is that literally like the one-word game where it's like I say a word, then you say a word, then Shiver says a word?
Yeah, we should do that
Okay,
next week.
We'll do that next time.
Oh my.
Welcome to
Okay.
the podcast, everybody.
Welcome.
If you don't know who Ben Lesnick is, hello, welcome first time to the podcast. Welcome to Star Citizen. Ben, for those who don't know, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Ben Lesnick. I am Director of Community Engagement at CIG. I put together a lot of the stuff you see every day with Star Citizen. I started out very early in 2012, helping out Chris Roberts get the funding campaign off the ground, and I've been lucky enough to do everything from making spaceships to making more spaceships.
Excellent. All right, let's get into it. We got a lot of stuff going on this week.
We do. I think we should start by. There's another reason you're here.
Yes.
One, for Star Citizen, but two, there's something else that's going on right now and that we're gonna follow this podcast with. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on with Wing Commander Academy?
Okay. I'm here promoting a personal project that I'm working on, which is a funding campaign of my own to buy and preserve most of the production art from the Wing Commander Academy animated series from 1996. We've tracked it down to an animation dealer who has had it in a warehouse for 20 years now. They're willing to sell because it just gets destroyed eventually. Otherwise, there's not a big market for Wing Commander animated cells out there. So we're trying to raise a bunch of money in the next couple of weeks so we can go out there, buy it, and I'm gonna scan it all and make it available to the Wing Commander community. Anybody who's interested.
Yeah, as of right now, you are sitting at $3,808 in 6 days. That is impressive.
Thank you. They could not do it without the amazing support of the community. Everybody has just been so generous. Because I know there are more exciting funding campaigns. There are more important funding campaigns. I'm incredibly passionate about this one, and I'm so glad so many people have helped out. We're almost halfway there, so it's really exciting.
We're gonna be spamming this link in the chat throughout the entire broadcast today. But so Ben is on the podcast right now. But right after the podcast, in case you came and you didn't know and you didn't see it on our website, we are gonna be watching the entirety of Wing Commander Academy. Until we drop. Watch until we drop. It's 13 episodes, so it's not too daunting. That's a solid Netflix binge.
Yeah,
So,
but Jimmy, you get 4.5 hours or so. Shouldn't be bad.
So we're gonna be taking regular breaks, but if you guys watch the Wing Commander movie live stream that we did last year, it's gonna work kind of the same way. It's gonna be very easy for people to be able to watch Wing Commander Academy because it's all on YouTube, which makes it a whole lot easier. Because before we had to deal with like Netflix and Amazon and all that stuff, region things, but YouTube is nice. So
Yes.
we'll be sharing those links when we get there. But basically, we're gonna have a timer down below, and if you come in partway through the stream, if you have to leave and come back, you'll always know exactly where we are, and you can catch up with us. So.
You guys are going to learn so much obscure trivia about a 20-year-old Saturday morning cartoon from basic cable. It's going to be great.
I want to talk quickly about the actual GoFundMe because I'm looking through the GoFundMe now, and you've got a few pictures there of like you looking at the boxes, I guess, right?
Yes.
How many boxes are there?
There are 30 boxes total. They've agreed to $300 a box. So every $300, I see it as like a stretch goal. We hit another box. We're on 12 and about to hit 13 now. It's this warehouse out in Orange County that's just filled ground to ceiling with old shows. Basically, the animation dealers will buy up the unwanted cells after a show was done its production run. They don't make shows with cells anymore. But it's basically just been sitting there. It's next to Thundercats and He-Man and Exo Squad. It was really cool to see.
Awesome. Although, side note, the new Thundercats show was way better than I expected it to be. I don't know why. It was good.
I liked it. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So that's gonna be happening later today. But for now, it is time for our regularly scheduled program.
Let's talk some Star Citizen.
Yeah.
All
right.
So let's first
go, David.
Well, we're recently post CitizenCon. We should probably talk a little bit about how you feel CitizenCon went and how the office how's the office doing after CitizenCon? Because I'm sure it was kind of mad there for a while.
Well, it's a good kind of madness, though. I find we do our best work when we are all working as hard as we possibly can. So it's almost like coming off of a really productive period. I mean, we're all totally exhausted. We've been passing a cold back and forth. I just got it, so I'm sorry about my voice, and I'm totally doped up on cold meds right now. So this will be an interesting podcast. But no, I think we've recovered pretty well. Chris went right off to Manchester as soon as the show was done to work on Squadron stuff, and so the office is always a little bit quieter when he's out. But we've recovered pretty well.
Cool. I do have to say that the post CitizenCon Around the Verse was probably the best one I've ever seen.
We are really, really proud of that. It turned out really well. I think it showed people the behind the scenes like nothing else has before.
Exactly. That that kind of stuff is what I kind of expected out of the eventual behind the scenes that we're eventually gonna get, like after Star Citizen's all said and done. So this was like a cool like taste of that, and I think like it was very obvious that it really helped ease a lot of people's minds after CitizenCon. And
absolutely, and I'm so happy it did, because that is the kind of openness we've kind of been pushing for the whole time, and now we have this tangible. Anybody who doubts this, look what showing people warts and all does. It gets people on board. You understand how hard we're working at this.
It was really interesting watching the community like shortly after CitizenCon, like the initial post CitizenCon reaction, and then watching it shift almost like completely with the reveal of the ATV. It was great. Also, I'm in that a few times.
I felt really bad for some of the reactions to the ATV where people were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be disappointed." Like, no, you should. That makes us better. But no, it was great seeing people get on board, understand what this is like for us.
It kind of shows that the developers are just as, if not more, disappointed that they couldn't show what they wanted to.
Absolutely. I think no argument there.
There's some cool shots of that demo though in that ATV.
Yeah, wait till we have it right. Get the AIs not walking into walls during the demo. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, that was funny. There was like a guy who was just kept on getting stuck on the door frame.
I think that's pretty much one of the biggest issues they were having with it was the those background NPCs causing trouble.
So Eric McKetton in chat has said to me that Ben's on drugs. Quick, ask him when questions while his guard is down. So Ben, when does the Wing Commander Academy GoFundMe end?
Oh, nice. I like that.
Oh.
So it doesn't have a specific ending. We're thinking about 3 weeks from now is when they will get tired of holding these for us. But I'll continue to negotiate with the guy selling the cells if it goes longer than that. But I will say it's incredibly stressful doing your own crowdfunding. I really hope it ends soon. But no, say 3 weeks from now, probably.
Cool. For the rest of the questions we're seeing, we're going to hold off on questions till the second half of the show, which is when we do the questions. It's the question block.
Question time. You hear us say question time, and that's when the questions happen. But that one didn't count. You're not allowed to. That doesn't count as the actual time I say question time. That one doesn't count either.
You can tell we're prepared for this.
So let's talk about, because we kind of got a little more behind the scenes of the Polaris this week.
Yes.
And my goodness, that ship is wonderful. Even though David hates it because he hates all RSI ships.
No, I really am proud of the Polaris. I think it's one of our best in a while. I think
it feels like if you looked at just the silhouette, like from far away, it looks like a fighter. And then, like, as it gets closer, you're like, oh, boy.
and that's actually very much inspired by the Venture Corvette from the original Wing Commander. It almost looks like a big overgrown fighter with a cockpit in the front and everything. So you kind of want that in a Corvette because you want people to understand how they fly it, but you also want it to be a big, giant monster full of torpedoes.
Yeah, because it's still maneuverable. Like, it's not as maneuverable as a fighter, but it's more so than a lumbering carrier.
Yeah, more so than like a cruiser or a carrier or something.
Yeah.
It's
Now I want to ask you a question about
of docking a Gladius.
I want to ask you about the most important thing about the Polaris. It has a pool table inside it.
Yes, the pool table is going to work.
Yes.
How's
Pool
it gonna work?
tables.
Do they have it working already? Does it?
I don't know. They don't have it working already. It's just a gray box model, but they've insisted that it's going to be a functional pool table. So
Excellent. Excellent.
I want to use
People are
pool cues
mad.
as a weapon. But not like a blunt weapon. I want to like walk up to people and be like, ah. Poke them.
So you are the person in charge of ships, basically. So all the ships go through you, right?
I'd say the ships kind of start with me. I do the initial concept, and I kind of follow them through. There are much smarter people who are actual game designers and artists who actually make them cool. But I sort of start the process.
Do you do anything on like the ground vehicles as well, or?
Yeah. In fact, we just recently had a meeting where we were talking about different versions of the Ursa and other vehicles we could do quick because people are going to need ways to get around these procedural planets. That's one of the number one things we're finding.
Yeah.
And just happening to have the Dragonfly that we kind of been fighting for a slot forever, it kind of dovetailed exactly with when the procedural stuff was ready because
Yeah.
they work so well together. They're peanut butter and chocolate.
Because one of the things that right after the Homestead demo, one of the things that people noted was essentially the size of the worm, but the size of like where you landed in the demo to where you end. Like the size of what was shown in the demo was basically the size of Skyrim.
Yes, it's
Right?
it's a huge. A planet is huge.
So,
Yeah.
where do you start with something like the rover? Like the Ursa is from the Carrack, right? And the Carrack has something else, doesn't it?
I think Carrack's the Ursa.
It is the
I think Carrack and one of the constellations have an Ursa, and then there's the Luxury rover, and the Phoenix is the other one.
Do you know if the Ursa is going to have any kind of like science?
What we're looking at for the Ursa is making the back have different modules. So right now, I think it just carries people, but we're looking at a cargo one and a one with a mining drill. So we can expand in that direction. But I think a lot of the vehicles we have right now is kind of almost like a fortuitous thing. We weren't thinking we needed to populate an entire planet and move from place to place. We just had a cool buggy already, and we planned for these ones for the explorers that made sense because it was an explorer, and now we need more.
Richard's in the chat. Hi, Richard. But he makes a good point. What really differentiates the Ursa from the Lynx?
The Lynx is going to be it's more 890 jumpier.
Does the Lynx have a hot tub?
It does not. No, don't give them any ideas.
Sauna, at least.
Get a hot tub module for the rover.
If I'm in one more discussion about how to get the hot tub working right in the Phoenix,
Is that a contentious issue?
all over the place. Everybody has very different opinions about how the.
Would you say
Close
that
around.
opinions are quite fluid on it?
Very good, very good.
Thank you.
What should happen to zero gravity? It's an ongoing discussion.
Why?
One of the cool things, I forget who I think it was one of the technical artists who was working on the Ursa. He was like, he was kind of making the same point that you were, that now that we have planets, we've found a need for ground vehicles, which includes like military vehicles, like things like that. Like Ursa's kind of like a utility vehicle, and a Dragonfly is just a very quick transport, but we need something that's got like some oomph. I'm like,
oh yeah, we're definitely gonna need like tanks and missile launchers and stuff on the road. From June 2.
What about giant fuel trucks to refuel Polarises?
I think we did one of those in the concept already. So.
yeah, we need that fuel truck, Ben. the I think everyone at INN, we were all like sat in a row and we were all looking at our brochures and we're like, oh, there's a truck. I want the truck.
Yeah, I think we definitely have to do the truck. You've been to our LA office. We have that giant like wall mural of Terra. When you look really close, you can see like the docks. They have these just kind of modern boats. Current day, there's like an oil tanker and a regular boat. That's. I'm waiting for an opportunity to press Chris on boats. Like,
Well, is that something you guys are going to have to do now that you can land anywhere on planets, and there will be large water portions on planets, right? Like, how are you going to deal with ships and water and?
I mean, I think at the start, it's okay to just have spaceships that fly over water. That makes sense. It would make sense that the Dragonfly would fly over water,
Okay.
the M85, and
That would have been my next question. Would be the
down the line, definitely we would want boats. So I think we've opened a can of worms with procedural planets. It's going to be very, very to continue to add to.
the best can of worms. That is a delicious can of worms.
I didn't even need for the connection to the fact that there are worms. So.
Oh wow, I didn't make that connection either until just now when you said it.
Well, we were just
Can of sandworms.
DE 542 DE were just doing a live stream earlier, and apparently one of the things that they were talking about on that live stream was the worm has like a life cycle. It'll sleep sometimes, then when it wakes up it might be faster than other times. That's
some good AI.
There's a lot of worm tech to develop still, I think. Although was the worm in Loremakers this week? I know they were.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're gonna take it inch by inch.
Well, expecting
on a slippery slope.
History of the worm, anyway.
Oh.
By the way, let me thank Jason Weirther. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, for donating $25. It's fantastic.
Ooh.
Thank you so much. I'm watching my bin. Thank you so much.
You know what? I'm going to donate right now because I hadn't yet. So.
Oh, thank you. You just want me to thank you on the air?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think everyone knows. Everyone knows my name, but I do like if you can thank other people who donate on the air. That's good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I watch my email. I got my phone here, and as if folks donate during the show, and you absolutely do not have to donate. I kind of hate passing the hat like this, but it's truly appreciated.
All right. What else happened this week? The camera systems, the new swivelly moving around camera lens.
Yeah, I just did a segment about that on ATV this week.
Yeah. That is unlike anything I've ever seen in a game. At least definitely a multiplayer game. I know Uncharted's got this awesome camera mode that's like you can pause the game and literally like remove the character from the game to get these beautiful screenshots. And then like you can pause it mid like action sequence and then like move the camera like in the debris and stuff like that. And that was cool. And then I saw this and I was like, man, this is gonna make making machinima just so much easier.
It's gonna be really good.
We want to be able to like show off our dogfighting maneuvers as much as we can, and that's gonna be cool. What else happened this week? There's gotta be more stuff.
It was a pretty quiet week, all things considered. We showed off that javelin on ATV. The shared. That was a good one.
Back.
Okay. Yeah, it was cool because it was like they're like, it's got a little bit of Force Awakens in there, but it's got a little bit of other stuff in there. Like they didn't want to make it too obvious, but because the Star Destroyer in Force Awakens is kind of falling apart, but it's mostly intact. And what I kind of liked about the Javelin is that it crashed, and then over time it like kind of like broke into like a couple pieces just from gravity.
Yeah, kind of did that like Titanic thing.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool. Everyone's saying that Erris, you're only classy from the waist up.
Yep. I don't care what I look like from the waist down.
I really wanted you to do that at CitizenCon.
I should have. You know what?
That would have been really good.
I'm gonna wear Frankfurt. I will wear PJs and bow tie because
if it makes you feel better, I'm wearing a standard Ben regular shirt and pajama pants. So
yeah, I'm wearing standard Erris bow tie and jacket and pajama pants. It's
I'm just wearing pajamas.
Jake and I are the only ones who got dressed.
I didn't get dressed. I don't know what you're talking about, Shiver. I'm wearing Darth Vader PJs right now. I've gone full Star Wars.
This is not even a clean shirt. I was like, Allie, can I wear my green shirt? That's my most comfortable one. She's, you wore it this week already. It's been in the laundry bin. Well, they can't smell me.
It's true. It's true. See, that's what we warn people before CitizenCon. It's like you watch us on the podcast, but when you meet us, you're getting smell-o-vision. You have to deal with this.
Yep.
Also, this is the first time I've been on the podcast since CitizenCon, so I have to say, you people out there who made me sign autographs, stop
What
it.
is wrong with
Rethink your life.
That is how I feel when I sign autographs too. It's weird, isn't it? We're not celebrities.
You got, at the very least, you got like your own table, but these are people who are like
Chris Roberts and Sandy. I'm like, okay.
Well, at the very least, it was a brochure that you had helped put together. So technically, this guy just gave me like a notepad. And I was just like, okay. I literally wrote, "This is weird, Jake."
The thing is, though, he wasn't actually asking for autographs. He just wanted directions to the loo.
Why would he want me to write it down for him?
Because his English wasn't very good, but he could read really well. He came in on the boat from Spain 3 months ago, fresh from the immigration office.
This makes perfect sense to me.
All right, dude, reel it in.
It's been a while. I'm reeling us back. I'm gonna ask Ben another question because I'm reeling us back. The next live stream is November 18th.
Yes.
Have you guys already started preparing for that?
Yes, in fact, that is most of my job right now is getting ready for that live stream. It's going to be heavily ship focused, and we're excited.
Give us any, without revealing anything, hints of like things that people can stew over for the next.
I mean, if you want to reveal something, feel free. But
we're going to have at least one new concept ship, one folks have been waiting for. We'll share a whole bunch of updates about the ship pipeline, where stuff is. I don't want to say when stuff's coming, but you'll get you'll get a better idea. Similar to how CitizenCon was kind of focused on the broad everything, this live stream is going to be really ship focused.
I think like me and David came to the agreement that was the best part of CitizenCon for us.
I've been saying for a few weeks now.
Yeah,
for me too, because it's always a debate. Should we tell people our roadmap? Because things will change, and we can't promise dates or anything. But we're kind of in a place now where our production is good enough that we can say, yeah, this is pretty much it, and share it with everybody.
There weren't any dates, but at the very least, it was like we know the order in which things are arriving, which is
It was probably the least content. Like there was not as much stuff shown. It's the CitizenCon with the least amount shown because the the Squadron 42 demo wasn't ready, right? But
yeah, would have been a full hour. It would have been something.
Full hour.
Which is something else I want to.
God.
Yeah, but at the same time, there was more information in that presentation than we've had almost at any point in the campaign. We've never known where Squadron 42 was.
Yeah, I think that helps a lot, and I think it's going to be something people go back to for the next year or so, or seeing when 4.1, 4.3, it's a lot of information to help people out as we actually deliver some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was a bit disappointed on not seeing Squadron 42, but I thought that the roadmap that was shown, for me at least, made up for it, because I loved that roadmap.
It was kind of cool to see, like, you guys are kind of, because I remember at one point when you guys were talking about mining, you were saying, like, maybe at first it would just be like the absolute bare bones, like, welding torch with a pickaxe and like that was it. But it looks like you're at least aiming to have the prospector ready for that, which is cool.
Yeah, we're looking at kind of doing the careers as whole things. So you get mining in one chunk and bounty hunting in one chunk, and that's all
and
Tony
farming
is doing.
With no endeavor.
Farm. Well, you'll hear more about that.
I want my
David.
endeavor. Yeah,
I want my endeavor.
I want my endeavor. I'm sorry, I can't help it. You go on about the Prowler all the time. The endeavor is mine.
Again, all we've got is a paragraph.
You'll be seeing more of the Prowler soon. Real soon.
Okay. So this is something that ever since in Reverse the Verse this week, Disco specifically asked us to point this out and bold it, and I've been making sure on the base last night, on the Week in 10, which goes up tomorrow, which Shiver and I just recorded. Basically everywhere I can, I'm trying to help Disco out and push this point, because he wanted us to, really. Starfarer captains are going to be getting a captain's chair. Is that something that's been talked about a lot in the office? The lack of the Starfarer captain's chair?
It's been pointed out. I don't know that we've ever treated it as a priority, but it's something we want to do.
All I know is he said on Reverse the Verse this week, apparently, that it is coming, and it's just that it is supposed to be there. So.
Yeah, it will get there. But isn't it cool that the universe is so immersive that people care that they don't have a place to sit down in it?
Was the guy responsible? Did he say, "I'm not going to stand for this anymore"?
No, just be like, which one was it? Was it Archer who never sat down? Or was it Janeway?
It was Janeway, because I can't even picture the Voyager chair in my head.
I don't know.
Sure
it was like,
sat
it
down.
was weirdly offset, right? Like, it was like angled backwards. Like, it wasn't like a U. Like, he didn't have like a central position like the Enterprise does.
Can we get...
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I'm trying to imagine chairs. Whatever you're going to ask me is more interesting.
No, it's honestly not. I would like you guys to... This is a specific mocap request for a way to sit on a chair, and I'd like you to implement the Riker.
I will mention it to Steve Bender.
I want the Picard maneuver. The get up and then he pulls down his shirt. Yeah.
Okay, so we're on to Star Trek now, because we can stay on topic.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
I know the Polaris is
Anyway.
actually the same size as Defiant.
Really?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. By the way, thank you, David, for the donation. We're getting real close to bucks 13. We're less than $50 away. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to post that in the chat again, because I can. Because it's my chat. I can do whatever I want. I do want to ask you a serious question that I know that you probably don't know the answer to, but I'm hoping you can mention it to other people in the company. Spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
What was shown off at CitizenCon about Spectrum was phenomenal. I mean, it looks like Discord, but in game, and like just the work Turbulent are doing, and Turbulent just won another award because they're.
Yeah. I don't even know if Spectrum comes off in the presentation as how important it is, because it's not necessarily the sexiest thing in the world, but just the idea that it's connecting the game and the community, and it's in both places at once. It's going to be massively important.
I do have one suggestion. One of the reasons that Discord took off so quickly among gamers, I mean, people used to use TeamSpeak, Skype, Mumble, whatever. Pretty much everyone has migrated over to Discord. Even CIG, you guys have a Star Citizen Discord channel where.
Yeah, we love.
Yeah.
Great.
One of the things that helped Discord the most when it launched was mobile integration. It launched with mobile. On the Spectrum roadmap, mobile was at the very bottom. It was the very last thing on that roadmap. I'd like to suggest looking into mobile integration earlier than
soon.
I'm more than happy to pass that along to Benoit and the folks at Turbulent.
Yeah,
it is really good advice.
I know a lot of organizations expressed that when we had mentioned it earlier, and when we did our big insane 2.5 hour analysis of CitizenCon.
Which I still don't know why we did, but
yeah.
Well, the thing is,
I had
like,
a couple people message me and were like, "Yeah, mobile is like."
Yeah, we're completely on Discord, INN, and I really want to move over to Spectrum, but I do most of my INN work at work, and I can't move over to Spectrum until there's because I'm a good person and I work at just quiet.
What is it you do again? Air traffic control.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nothing important like that. No.
There it is, David. Mobile.
Yep. Mobile. It's in the chat. Mobile. Oh, okay. Calm. We're actually
I think the biggest thing was it's kind of funny because Blizzard just now rolled out voice for their games. Just now. Like 3 days ago. But and then you guys are like, yeah, we're not only doing voice, but you're not only gonna be able to talk to people in the game and talk to people out of game. A person can talk to a person on the website can talk to someone in the game, and it'll come out of their ship's speaker.
Yes.
That's cool.
Anything we can do to bring people more into the universe.
That's one of the things that we always wondered how it would work, and I'm really glad that it looks like Turbulent are going to do a great job. We're almost on
enabling your girlfriend to nag you whenever you're in game.
Oh,
don't give her your space phone number.
So we're almost up to question time, but before we get to start going through the questions in the chat, I want to ask, is there anything that you've seen coming up that you are excited about that you can tell us about, or?
Well, I will say I sent off the spec for our next brochure to the UK Art guys, and they hate me now, but it's going to be a good one. We're also specing out a brochure for the Caterpillar for when that launches with 3.0, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's my favorite document we've done yet. So look forward to that.
Caterpillar owners will be very happy to hear that. I'm sure.
Owner.
I don't know. They might not find it as interesting as the music as
I don't think Caterpillar. I think it's a Drake thing. I don't think Drake fans are ever satisfied.
No.
It's well, you'll see what I'm talking about in not too distant future.
I have to ask. I know in the Polaris brochure there was a thing that Ali seemed to complain about of the the merchandise that was.
Yes. So we are going to do the shirt. We have to make actual art for it because the mock-up didn't translate into an actual shirt. So we're going through the process. We have to make a sample with our folks in China, and they send it back, and it can take weeks and weeks. But we're going to do the shirt.
How about the model?
Someday.
Okay.
Yeah, we get there.
I do have a request that in the future, for all the ship models, can we get Takuetsu boxes? That would be amazing.
One of the things we went into originally when we were doing the first Takuetsu models, we're like, we could do this as an actual ship model. This could be the packaging.
So good.
Do we want to do a quick 2-minute break and then start into questions?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Let's take a break.
We're gonna
guys. When we come back, if you had asked a question, we're gonna scroll back, but maybe not that far. So please ask it again. If we miss your question, just ask again. That's totally fine. Questions for us, questions for Ben, but no questions for David.
What?
Oh, before we break, let me thank Matt Solenkovic, who donated $50. That is fantastic. That pushes us over 13 boxes.
Woo!
And
13 boxes.
Philip Sefton donated $25. So we're on our way to 14.
Woo!
Yes.
Here we go.
Nice.
Okay, we
It's
will
already
be
a
right back.
successful live stream.
Yay.
All right. We'll be back about 3-4 minutes. Don't go anywhere, guys. Goodbye. And we're coming back, but I don't know how yet. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay. I think I did it. I have to unmute them, though. Hold on. Stand by. I need more than one hand. I need 3 mice and 3 hands to use those mice. What? Oh, what happened here? Oh, I need to move Shiver around.
What have you done?
Ben became widescreen.
Oh, that's odd. Well, there's more of me to love.
There we go.
But now Shiver's gone.
I know. I have to redo his window.
It's
There we
dark
go.
and I can't see. Oh.
There he
There
is.
you go.
There we go. Live editing. I tried to do it behind the scenes during the break, but it didn't work.
Okay, so we're back. The questions are firing.
Yes.
Before the questions, I want to let people know who are private messaging me that I cannot message back right now. Twitch isn't working for me properly. I'm sorry. So let's.
You can message me though.
Good. You can message.
Jake. If you need something production related done. Anyway,
so let's
do these questions.
let's do this. Stoutman PR asks, will Spectrum have anti-spam mechanisms in place so I don't have spam pop up in the middle of a dogfight and get killed?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure that's going to be one of those reactive things. I'm sure we will start with some degree of anti-spam. However we think people are going to use it to spam us, and they will immediately find other ways. Kind of like the Oregon Vites, and we'll just fight that war forever.
Yes. Along with that question, kind of ancillary to it, is the plan to have in-game ship-to-ship comms have a Wing Commander style Skype? Will it translate into Spectrum or?
Yeah, it'll all be part of the underlying tech. So
cool. James Grimswolf asks, what is going on through Shiver's head as he sits there listening so intently?
Just that over and over on loop.
Monkey in a little car in a circus top driving around.
Do you work for the base?
Wearing a fez.
Can you see? Can you see my fez?
Does he have?
No.
Does he have symbols?
There is a fez there.
Yeah, you know the guy.
Yeah, he's got symbols.
Yeah.
Oh, is there another?
Does a little twirl every so often.
One at a time, Zeus.
Hellcat asks, tell us about the Aegis Anvil Eclipse, please. You can say no to these questions if you want, by the way.
I think I have to say no to this one.
Okay. Let's find the next one. Comrade Headcloth
That was the one
asks,
from the whiteboard, right? Yeah.
I'm not familiar with any whiteboard. I will say this. People got one of the names from the whiteboard wrong, and
Really?
there was one people did not translate correctly. I have not seen anyone
everyone,
get it right.
back to the whiteboard. Go. Comrade Headclat asks.
Headclat.
When can we expect to get our hands on the mod tools for Star Citizen, and will there be mod tools for Squadron 42?
Star Citizen will be when it launches. Squadron 42, I mean, it'll essentially be the same tools. I don't think we'll put them out right when the game comes out, because it's much more of a linear first person. You know, it would be like shipping a movie with editing tools. Wait a little bit for people to cut it up. But yeah, no, we're building all sorts of cool tools that we will put out for folks as we promised.
Cool. iWook asks, have you seen any pre-work or mock-up for the 325 rework?
No, we don't have previews for that yet.
Is that going to be done by the same team that's working on the Cutlass right now?
It's the guys in Austin, I think.
Yep.
I wish I were at work because I'd have the schedule right here. But
okay.
We've got like 6 or 7 pods of people working on different ships, and it's one of the U.S.
pods.
They do, yeah. You have a designer, an artist, and a little team of people: an interior guy, an exterior guy, a hard service guy.
Are the ship companies spread across the studios? So, like Aegis design and manufacture is done in the UK studio, for instance. Misk is done somewhere else, or is it teams?
It is theoretically it's divided by company. We found as a practical thing, it makes more sense to kind of divide it by ship size. So we're kind of moving to that now. I think like Drake is technically the LA studio, but it varies.
Okay. Comrade Headclot has a good one. Will there be printed reruns of Jump Point this year?
We would like to do another one. It's always a fulfillment nightmare figuring out how to get those heavy books to everybody. That's one of those things that we always lose a bit of money on, but we will look for every opportunity.
I need a rerun of the first one because I've got Volume 2 up there, but Hazgaha, who actually this is a perfect question from him.
Excuse me, it's Mr. Hazgaha.
In here, in Twitch, it's just Hazgaha. So Mr. Hazgaha asks, does the new camera system in 2.6 do away with the HUD-less trick that I've infinitely exploited? Can we still get a HUD-less view for screenshots and video without our character in frame?
I'll be honest, I just don't know, but I will find out for him because we do not want to stop him from doing his amazing screenshots.
Yeah. His screenshots are...
I saw a couple of his screenshots as wallpapers in the LA studio.
Yeah, we love him.
He's pretty darn good.
He's well deserving of that mister.
Yes.
Master,
maybe. Bedved asks, when will we see more about that car from the Connie trailer?
What is that? Isn't it the Ursa?
Isn't that the Ursa?
That's the Ursa.
Yeah, I think it was a much earlier version of the Ursa.
I don't pre-screen questions. I just read them.
I've got news for you, sir.
Watch the CitizenCon demo, and there you go.
Or Bug Smashers last week, where he was stopping the tire from flying off.
Yeah.
Doom Centurion asks one, will hunting of megafauna like the sandworm be possible in patches between 3.0 and 4.0, and will it be possible to do on foot?
I can't give a specific patch, but it will be something we do.
Do you think it'll be before 4.0?
I don't want to venture a guess because I don't know.
Okay. Will procedural planet tech also include underground structures like caves, ravines, canyons?
Yeah, Yeah, as you hear, we go from procedural planet V1, V2, V3. It's essentially each pass is adding more of that stuff. So we're building a better and better kit every day.
So you will have like streams with moving water.
Yeah, we'll get there. I think it was just like oceans and bays right now, but we're doing more with water.
David.
I'm not calling anything out. Sorry.
David.
I'll move on. Yeah, Jake.
You're being a weirdo.
How am I being a weirdo? Comrade Headcloth asks, will there be an API for Spectrum? He wants to write plugins for it.
I'm not sure. That's a turbulent question. I know we've let people do that in the past with like the XMPP stuff, I guess, because that's outside of our control. But we certainly work with citizens to do their scripts before. I don't want to say without knowing. So,
Okay.
but I will follow up with Benoit and John Erskine and let you know.
I need to go to Montreal.
We need to speak with those turbulent folk at some
Yeah,
point.
I need to go to Montreal.
We can make that happen. I think there's a big Bar Citizen happening next month, same time as our live stream.
Live stream, I'm probably going to be stuck here slaving away, typing away. So
Just send Vince to do it.
yeah, I'll send just.
He can
Vince.
do it by
That'll work.
himself.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go. You know what? Maybe I'll shove that over to Shiver and Nixt and CS and
They'll be
I'll
fine.
disappear.
They'll be
and go
fine.
interview people at Montreal. We'll see. Okay. Hellcat asks another one that probably won't get an answer, but what kind of
Thanks,
ship is
Hellcat.
the Anvil Hurricane?
What kind of ship is it? It's a military ship, but I can't say more than that.
Okay.
There you go.
But I think you can find the inspiration from the name alone. You go back to the hurricane in World War II and draw some conclusions there.
Yep.
It's a submarine.
Oh yeah, there's
Exactly.
although the Red Bear one says was wondering if there will be ships that are amphibious. Have you seen Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow?
Yes.
That-
I don't know if it could be a ship. We did talk about doing like a water landing for some of the big ships at one point. I think it's been thrown out now, but it would have been such a cool, like a water hangar for the Erris or the 890 jump.
Oh yeah.
That was one idea we had.
Can we actually talk about that quickly? Because
Sure.
if water landings are out for big ships, can things like the Endeavour, the Hull, D, and E still land on planets? Or because I think it was like the Hull E when it was loaded couldn't land.
The D and the E won't land on a planet. They need to dock with stations in orbit and ferry things down.
Okay.
It was kind
Oh,
of
what
like the
about
plan
just-
was the larger hulls are the big tankers and your smaller A and Bs, the ones that do the transitional unloading and loading.
Yeah. We kind of have this idea for like a stevedore role where there are people whose specific job it is to move the stuff from a giant super ship down to wherever it's supposed to go.
I want to find a GIF of the planes in Sky Captain because they just fly and they dive bomb into the water and then they're just flying in the water.
I remember that.
Zeus Anoxia asks,
movie
when
was
will
weird.
Star Citizen start to introduce its own aliens and creatures? Worms and pod racers are cool, but I want
Pod
stuff that's
racers?
original to Star. Yeah, I don't know where that one came from, but I want stuff that's original to Star Citizen and not borrowed from other franchises.
There's only so much original, so many original aliens out there. I know you'll see a lot more flora and fauna as we flesh out the procedural planet stuff.
Also, the Banu, the Tavar.
Oh yeah, all the sentients are in various stages of completion. Banu, Tavaran, Jayan.
Because it came out somewhat recently and was a lot discussed and up for many awards at Golden Joysticks for some reason. No Man's Sky. Do you know if it did procedural fauna as well as planets? Do you know if you guys are going to go with any procedural making of fauna with the procedural planets, or will you guys like create custom fauna for each individual biome on a planet? Do you have any idea how that's going to work?
I don't. Someone does, but I don't.
Okay.
I imagine it's going to be kind of our same approach as procedural planets, where there's a procedural element and then there's a hand finished part to it. Because No Man's Sky can get pretty weird when you let it randomly generate some of that stuff.
I just want to make sure that. Wait, really?
Yeah, it literally looked just like a Goomba, but it was blue.
No, that's good because No Man's Sky could get interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a good question. I don't know if you would know this, Ben, but Hellcat asked, like, general, what is the status of the other sentients besides humans?
Vanduul are pretty much.
Yeah, I figured the Vanduul are probably done.
Vanduul are very far along for Squadron. There's more texturing and tweaking to do. Cheyenne and Banu they've moved forward a lot. They're not final. And then the Tavaran are following up in the rear. They're still very concept.
Zeus and Oxia has a question. Is there, and I'm going to kind of shuffle with it a bit, but is there any talk of doing like a Squadron 42 demo level, like maybe the demo that you guys were planning on showing at CitizenCon, the 1 hour or so? Is there any talk of releasing that to the public to play through, or is it all going to be released?
I think Chris's preference is to release it all at once. I have never heard any talk of a demo.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
cool.
Honestly, like it's not linear, but compared to Star Citizen, Squadron 42 is linear, if that makes sense. Oh. So like even seeing a linear demo of something, we're probably going to see most of the content that you would see if you were playing it. Definitely not all of it. Definitely not all of it, but
yeah, it'll give you a pretty good idea of what we're doing.
Okay, there's a lot of questions here. Here's a good one from Comrade Headclot. I'm a backer who has not been able to play the game since 1.0 of Arena Commander. Do you have any idea when Delta patching is going live?
Yeah, you mean the new patcher where it only downloads what you need rather than the whole thing again? Very, very soon. That's along with it's tied to Spectrum in some way. It's going to be one of our next patches. We'll launch that.
Okay. Cool.
And I think it may be one of the next thing the Avocati test. Even I'm not sure.
Awesome.
It's up there.
Fastcart asks me if I managed to keep my wallet this time.
Yeah.
Did you?
I did.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, I was very pleased.
I was smart and didn't bring my concierge card with me. It's too shiny.
I brought
for
my
me
cards,
to lose.
but decided I didn't want to get it signed or anything because I like it. It's shiny.
We got the INN flag for the microphone signed instead, which I thought was a much better idea.
Nice.
Yep. Look at this thing.
Just because I'm sure lots of people haven't seen this yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we got all them big wigs to sign it.
That's
you are
really cool.
included as a big wig, Ben.
Fine. I told you, look, just a bit of washing up liquid. It will scrub right off.
This is retired. It's never going to be used again.
Yeah.
We need to buy a new one.
We need a new one. It's been a good 2 years. 2 Citizen Cons. It's lived its life.
We've got plans for something more. We're working on that. Let's continue.
I'm not privy to these plans.
No, you're not. This is 6F's plans.
Oh, Vince.
Yeah.
All right. Doom wants to know when you're getting your star on Hollywood Boulevard, Ben.
I don't think that's likely anytime soon. I do have a star in the Wing Commander universe map. There's a star system named after me, so I'm happy with that.
There you go.
Actually, let's take this back to the GoFundMe quickly. I do notice that you also have, where is it? Oh, if I can get back to it. I'm far. What? Just. Oh, well, I want to. You have a Ben Lesnick wing in a museum.
It's not a wing. It's just a collection.
It's a collection. There's a Ben Lesnick collection in.
So the University of Texas's Adolph Briscoe Center for American History a couple years ago had this push for video game history preservation, and they reached out to all the local Austin folks, Richard Garriott, Warren Spector, Dave Downing, and they all donated their old papers. And I remember they eventually did an index of it, and it was just fascinating. So here's 7 versions of the Wing Commander Special Ops 2 script, and they're all like stored in this museum. So I convinced them to let me go. Me and my friends, the other WC News guys, we went down for a week, and we poured through all this Wing Commander stuff, and I kind of started a relationship with the guys at the center. And I was, I've been collecting this stuff too over the years. Whenever anybody from Origin or any Wing Commander related stuff cleans out their garage, I will, hey, can I have that? And it was getting to the point where I just had walls and walls of binders of old design docs and old tape drive tapes that I'd recovered and VHSs. So I offered them to the library, and they were happy to take them. And so now there's a collection in my name there.
That's pretty cool. Silo Torn actually has a question that kind of goes along with this. It's a Wing Commander universe question. Did war with the Kilrathi lessen humanity's love for cats?
No. In fact, if you look at the Wing Commander Armada Manual, Voices of War, and this is one of David Ladyman's favorite things he's ever done, he has told me. There's this handwritten letter from a kid to his dad on the front lines. The whole thing is correspondences between the home front and the front lines, both from the human and the Kilrathi perspective. And the kid's letter is about how he's sending his stuffed cat to his plush cat to be good luck for the pilot who is fighting the Kilrathi. So they're still cats are still a thing people like on Earth. And then when they did the Wing Commander card game, that was one of the luck cards they picked out from all the continuity. So there's an actual drawing of Mr. Cat. It's spelled with a K. Any other questions?
Iwook asks me if I got banned from the captain's table for not letting anyone else talk.
Yes.
Probably. I don't let anyone talk ever. It's a problem.
Surprised you didn't. Thankfully, the episode that I was on, we had the Nubifier on as well, and he's a stand-up gentleman, but he talks equally as much as I do. So it was really just me and him talking about the minutia of Star Citizen for 3 hours.
It's a problem. Just being like, oh, I know the answer to that. Oh, I know the answer to that. Oh, I know the answer to that.
Shout out to Nubifier, one for being my first sponsor in my Star Citizen esports endeavors. But he is now what the community is using whenever someone asks what is Star Citizen. His video is what we use. It explains very concisely the entire concept of Star Citizen in a little less than 4 minutes. So it's pretty great. If you guys haven't seen it, just just Google Nubifier and you'll find him.
So Miku Hatsune asks, how do you think CIG will handle new ships after commercial release?
Is that Clifford? If so, hello, Clifford. If not,
I think it's a different Miku.
I think it's a different Miku. I don't. Oh. I think Clifford is Clifford _Miku.
Yeah. Okay. So
they're multiplying.
Hello. I would think I think our long-term goal is to, instead of right now, we kind of introduce ships all over the time period, which is kind of like, oh, by the way, there's been a medium fighter this whole time, and nobody mentioned it up until now. It's very much universe building. I think after launch we'll do with more universe expanding. So it's RSI is bringing their 2950 Aurora lineup, and here are those. And you can occasionally still do a concept sale. I think concept sales will be, here's a ship and it's flyable now at that point. But it'll be entirely in the world always. So it'll be, Misk has their new multi-crew ship and it's available in the showroom.
Will they run advertising campaigns in game?
Yeah.
Like take out advertisements on hulls? Yeah.
So
cool.
we want it'll be an immersive thing, and it'll be something you're saving up your in-game credits for rather than, hey, more cash.
Okay. Here's a good question that is a very Ben's probably the best person to answer this question.
I do want to apologize beforehand. I am skipping a lot of questions because we do have a ton, and Ben's good for ship questions, not so much
and community questions.
Not so much, design.
Tofu der Fleisch, or I think that's how you say that. Did somebody already ask if there are similar programs like 10 for the Chairman planned? No, but I'm asking you now.
Yes, we're still working on the revamp of 10 for the Chairman. We did one of those 10 for the Chairman special editions recently. We want to change up all the shows. We're just kind of in the process of figuring out how.
Probably going to get like a format facelift like Around the Verse did, RTV did.
Yeah.
I've seen two questions here. I think from different people. I can't even tell. I can't remember. But two people asked about languages. Can you tell us anything about the fictional languages? And do you know if there will be a release of the Vanduul language before the game comes out, so people who are crazy can learn Vanduul?
Yes, I think we have 3 of the languages well on their way at this point. We have a big Hollywood linguist. He's not a Hollywood linguist, but he's the guy who does fake languages for, I don't know if this fake, new languages for a lot of science fiction properties. We actually brought him down, shot an interview with him about the language stuff, which would answer this question very well, and the sound just didn't work. So we've kind of been sitting on that forever. We're talking about bringing him back and doing that again. But yeah, that's a real thing.
The sound didn't work. We can transcribe it.
That's true.
I'm sorry.
3 lips.
I'm sure we've learned that by now. Comrade Headclot asks one that I actually am really interested in, because I never followed Wing Commander at all. But question, would it be possible to get the original design documents for Freelancer?
That is a good question. Freelancer has always been kind of outside my expertise. I love Freelancer. I know Freelancer. I played it all the time when it came out, but I've never spent much time looking into the history. If I were to speak to the Freelancer version of Ben Lesnick, I would say there's an executive at Microsoft, Jörg Newman. He helped us track down a lot of the privateer documentation early on, and he was the guy who saw Freelancer to completion. So I would reach out to him, and I can actually do that. I can send him a note, see if he has anything available. There's an interesting amount of passion out there for Freelancer still. I don't know if anybody's ever looked up Project Lone Star on YouTube. There's some footage of what was Freelancer 2. It was going to be an Xbox 360 title. There's interesting stuff out there. I just have not spent too much time with it.
Yeah,
I'm
25, so I'm 25. So Freelancer was my first Chris Roberts game, because the other ones were kind of a little bit before I could spend money on video games. And now what happened was, when I was very young, my dad got a computer, and he was like, hey, you like space? What space video game do you want for our brand new shiny computer? And this is around the time when the special editions came out for Star Wars. And I'm like, I have to get X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. And that was the space sim that I played back then. And I saw Wing Commander, I'm like, this looks great, but I was also 6. and Star Wars was my jam. So Freelancer was like the first game that I really got into from Chris.
No, I remember being a insane Wing Commander super fan. I thought everybody who was fans of other games was terrible, and we would all fight on the internet. But even then, I couldn't look down on those X-Wing games. They did a fantastic job with them.
They were amazing.
Yeah, and so different. By all rights, X-Wing should be Wing Commander. It should be, Wing Commander is a game of Star Wars. So they had every right to just copy Wing Commander, and they didn't. They did that. Very calculating, plotting, totally different experience, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
This is one that I know I've asked a few people at CitizenCon about. But Nixt asks, are there any plans for another informal show with a sit down with the community team, somewhat similar to the old Reverse the Verse, even with no information to it, just hanging out with you guys?
Pretty much every week we say we want to do this, and every week we get busy with other stuff. It probably does not show, but the changes to Around the Verse mean a lot more work on the back end. So it's just been a matter of getting the time right. I think we absolutely will get there, though.
Miku Hatsune from earlier has a comment saying, Ben, I have to thank you for getting me to play Wing Commander and Freelancer. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for saying that.
I'm
sorry, I thought you were Clifford.
Who was your favorite character in the Wing Commander saga?
Favorite character? I've always kind of liked the arc for Admiral Tallwin. I mean, he's not a good person. He becomes Space he becomes Space Hitler. But it's a very interesting arc because he kind of embodies the war. You start with like the prequel novel, and you can go through his whole life. And I would say I liked him a lot more before Wing Commander 4 when they made him Space Hitler. I liked the previous idea that he was Douglas MacArthur, and people either loved him or hated him, but there was he had his passionate following, and they
it was a bit strange that Malcolm McDowell was a good guy.
Yes. I liked him as just a jerk.
Hellcat1337 asks, what happened to the Next Great Star Marine contest?
We still have that in our back pocket. We want Star Marine to be out first, basically. No, we still want to do that one.
Okay. Holly Weird asks a question specific to the campaign. If we donate enough for Ben's campaign for a drawing or a Skype call reward, how do we contact you to set that up?
That is a good question, and I'm not sure because I've never GoFundMe'd before. It looks like I have access to everybody's contact information. Just scrolling through it, I will reach out to you once things have settled a little bit. If you want one of those things immediately right now, I'm happy to do it. Just send me an ad on Twitter or an email. You can email me loaf@wcnews.com for non-CIG stuff, and I'm happy to move you ahead in the queue. But I will. Allie and I are going to work together to make sure everybody gets their stuff.
Awesome.
We know the trials and tribulations of a crowdfunding campaign, and
yeah.
David.
Cass actually got everything shipped.
Oh yeah, look at her.
Yeah,
what a trooper. Can we make her director of logistics?
She's director. Actually, I should. Ben, do you have some people to thank, or?
I don't have any people to thank.
No,
so
what's wrong with you all? We now have a director of shipping, and I have a box in the closet over there full of stuff to start giving away. It's gonna happen soon. Yeah. I'm actually really excited about that box. It's got some good stuff in it that I don't care about
Lord of
But you know
all
what? I will say
salts.
we're very close to 4,000. We're at 3933, so that'll feel like a real victory once we get to 4K. So.
The Lord of all salts asks, are there any discussions on ships that have areas intentionally left open to space? For instance, quick reaction forces deployment, either after landing or getting to an area in space.
No, I don't think we've looked at anything like that. I will say you will be seeing more about deploying troops in the not too distant future, but not exposed to space.
Cicero asks, Reclaimer is by far my favorite ship design, and I will say that I reclaimed my Reclaimer when it showed up. I know, I'm sorry. I reclaimed my Reclaimer when it showed up on the upcoming patches. Like when it was there, I was like, okay, I need my Reclaimer again. The Reclaimer is one of the best ships. Will George Hull make any more concept art for SC?
If his schedule works, you know, the big Hollywood guys we used for the initial ship concepts, they have real jobs too. They are often, you know, if you look at like the credits on a Star Wars movie or the Star Trek movie, they're all there. They usually take Star Citizen ships in their downtime between projects, and it's more of a, hey, here's something super creative that doesn't have the same limitations as a Hollywood film that has to have particular angles and things. So yeah, if he wants to.
Okay. Music Guru asks, out of all of the Star Citizen ships that you've worked on up to this point, which have you enjoyed the most?
I think my favorite was the Endeavor and coming up with all those pods, and it's going to be a really cool ship. It's big and it's got that 1970s feel to it. It's going to be a good one.
Actually, Ben, did you ever see there was a sci-fi miniseries called Ascension?
Yes, I did see that.
That's what it kind of reminds me of a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's got like that oldish feel to it, like that old-timey sci-fi.
They're sorry, go ahead, Ben.
Oh no, I can never remember the movie that the farming pods are from, but it's a very good movie.
To me, there are two ships that really changed how I thought about Star Citizen. The first was the Reclaimer. As when you guys put out the concept for the Reclaimer, it was like, oh wait, we can take dead ships apart and sell them again. Like that blew my mind. And then I thought that I understood everything else, like mining and repair and all that stuff. And then you guys announced the Endeavor, and like, just the Reclaimer and the Endeavor are possibly my favorite ships in the game because of what they mean you can do in the game.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, we've kind of been staying away from that lately. I feel like we've prototyped out all our big systems with ships to go with them. So we haven't had a ship that kind of changes what you do in the game in a while, but that may change.
Oh, was it
Really?
Capricorn 1 that had the pods?
No, it's the movie where the ship has like the last plants on Earth, and the guy's supposed to take care of them, and then he's ordered to destroy them, and he goes rogue. I cannot remember the name of it.
Oh.
Is it?
What's an episode of Outer Limits?
Is it Wally?
It's not Wally. It's Wall-esque. I'm just gonna Google for this right now.
Silent Running?
Yes, it's Silent Running.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Worm Drake. Worm
'Cause,
Drake got that one.
My mind files the name Silent Running as submarine movie, and I can never remember it when I'm trying to think of this name.
It files the name as a weird Jamaican bobsledding movie.
That's Cool Runnings.
But it's so same.
Two kinds of people, Erris. Two kinds
For
of
some
people.
reason, do you know what's weird? In my brain, I always mix up U-571 and Titan AE. I think they are absolutely nothing like each other, but I think Titan AE is called U-571 all the time. I don't know why.
You have some problems, man.
Ben, when Star Citizen is released and we're all playing away, what career path are you most interested in playing?
Something quiet. I want to be a scientist or an explorer. Something that keeps me away from other people for a while, honestly. I love being a fisherman in Ultima Online. I want some career like that where I'm just kind of playing the game by myself. I can adventure with my friends, and it's just I don't want to be space rich, or I don't want to fight for anything. I just kind of want to be.
There is now an artifact weapon for fishing in World of Warcraft. You wield like this glorious fishing pole, and you do it by being the best fisherman that ever was. And it is the highest rarity that you can get in the game, but it's a fishing pole.
Nice. Actually, where is it? Scormfuse has a question kind of relating to professions. Will we see a prospector-sized salvage ship?
Eventually.
Okay.
Eventually, we kind of want to fill in all the gaps in ship sizes, but it'll be a while. I think the prospector will double as a salvage ship for the time being.
Cool.
Maybe with some modifications for variant.
All right. I think that brings us to the end of the podcast.
I have one more question before we move on to Wing Commander Academy, which I'm super excited for. By the way, anyone who came in middle of this stream, we're finishing off the podcast
do that.
shortly.
Ask the question.
Okay, fine. I'll ask the question. Okay. What's my question?
You lost the question.
I think I did, actually.
Oh. You're killing me.
I lost the question.
You're killing me.
It's gone.
All right.
Would you like a pet Canadian in your offices? Why am I looking after?
Can't turn down the Canadians.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this week's episode of Inside the Verse. I think business as usual this week for us at INN. Don't have anything coming up, although I will clue you guys in. Let's see here. Let me actually take a peek where we're at right now. Tweet deck, please. If it'll load. Oh, great! It won't tell me.
Are you looking at
however
how
many followers we have at the moment?
Should I go get my box of stuff?
Nope, I got it. Okay. However many followers we have, 2,842 followers on Twitter right now. When we hit 3,000, we're gonna be doing a giveaway. So if you guys haven't followed us on Twitter, go ahead and do that. Yeah, that's gonna be happening. We're gonna be giving away a whole bunch of absolutely unrelated to anything stuff, but it is cool stuff. Everybody likes cool stuff.
I do.
Cool stuff is nice. Okay, and then other than that, we got what's CIG program? What week is this? Is this a Bug Smasher week?
This was a lore week. Next week is a Bug Smasher week.
Lore week. Okay.
I'll have a literal box of stuff here that will be given away, up to and including
samples. Oh, look at that. 2944 Murray Cup. That is nice. All right. Well,
give Shiver away.
It helps us out.
Nobody wants me.
It helps us out when you follow us on Twitter. Helps us get the word out. The website does not advertise itself. We are successful only because you guys do it for us, and you guys are the best. But after this, if you're listening to the recorded podcast, you will have this all at the same time right here on your playlist. But if you're here live with us, after a short break, we are going to be watching some Wing Commander Academy. Thankfully, all those episodes are on YouTube, so you can watch along with us. We're going to be doing it how we did the Wing Commander movie style. That way, if you guys need to leave and come back, you'll always be able to lock right in and watch along with us. And Ben is going to.
Before we go.
Oh, no, go ahead, Shiver.
I think Erris aren't you on something else later on today?
Oh yeah.
I am. This is a good point. Thank you for reminding me, Shiver. So after we watch, 4 to 5 to 6 hours of Wing Commander, I am also on 14, 18 hours, however much. I will also be on Greyhead Gamer's Not So Sober Saturday. So join me over there. I've got like 12 hours straight streaming today.
Yep.
And I think on Wednesday, you're appearing in a guest appearance on the Postcards from Event Horizon special that's coming back.
Yes.
Madness. But yeah, other than that, normal stuff. ImperialNews.network. Outro music time. Thank you guys so much.
Ben, thank you so much for being on this podcast, even though we're not letting you go because we're going to continue talking to you, but thank you for being on.
Guys, so thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate you having me on to talk about my personal thing. Thank you so much. Yes. If you're out there watching this, let me plug it again. GoFundMe.com/SaveWCA, or if you don't do GoFundMe, it can be PayPal to lowfatwcnews.com. Nobody has to back, but if you're excited about my passion, I would really appreciate it. I'm so excited to make this happen. I'm so excited to ruin Jared's weekend by making him drive back to this place. So, if
honestly, you should donate just for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, the link is in the description if you want to help out. Guys, we'll see you next time. See you around the verse.
See you in the verse.